Kia ora anō. This is called the Millenium Rock, and it's a funny old thing. There's two holes in it. There's a hole pointing east, and if you look through that hole at dawn, you can see the sun coming up over the horizon. So that's this hole here. So that's looking to the rising sun. The other hole this way is looking up onto the tihi of Tapawai o Uanuku. And there was this competition madness going on in 1999. I don't know if any of you people are old enough, you all look too young to remember the whole Y2K madness. That, you know, the year 2000 was going to come around and everything was going to zero and planes were going to fall out of the sky. So while there was all of that stuff going on at the United Nations, worrying about missiles launching themselves and wiping out mankind, we were having an argument here about whether the sun was first going to shine on the tip of Hikurangi maunga or on Tapawai o Uanuku maunga. And it was an interesting argument. As it turned out, a silly one, because of course you young people, your parents would have told you that on the morning of year one of the new millennium, Hini Pū Kohurangi decided to take control of this male madness, and there was mist everywhere. There was mist over both of those mountains, no one could see the sun, and so we're all standing out here down at the beach, and the mist just seemed to be hanging above the water, just hanging there doing nothing, and we couldn't see anything. And the Reverend Richard Edina, he said, rightio, well, as soon as we've finished this service, praising the Lord for the new millennium, we're going to go up to the rock and there's going to be a pōhiri. And I had Stephanie with me, and the first thing she did, she looked at me and said, you didn't tell me there was going to be Maori stuff. But she didn't say that, but I could just tell the look. And I looked at her without saying anything and said, I didn't know, you know, that, I didn't know. So everyone came wandering up here, and we stood around like where you were standing, and it just started to tinkle with rain. And we were all standing there, and all us Rangitanes were thinking, oh, well, must be Ngāti Rāra doing it. And Molly and all the Ngāti Rāras, they were standing there thinking, those bloody Rangitanes, they never invited us to do anything. And I suppose all the Ngaitahus, well, they were there saying, ooh, they never told us, we should have been on it as well. And in actual fact, no one had been contacted to do the pōhiri. And in the end, Uncle Jimmy Mac was standing there, and he looked at me and said, geez, boy, you better go up and say something. We're starting to look fucking stupid. Because everyone was looking around at anyone that looked like a Maori. So unaccustomed as I was to speaking in public on that day, stood up and took my army lemon squeezer off and just welcomed everyone and said, well, 1,000 years ago, our ancestors were walking backwards and forwards over this land. They were digging holes, they were marrying, they were burying their dead, they were occupying this land, and we're still here today at the start of the new millennium. And I think that, I'd like to think that in 1,000 years' time that all of my descendants have married into your descendants, and we've become this iwi kōtahi tātou, this one community. And I said, I understand that a rock holds a message like a crystal set. And so if we all come up and we touch the rock, and a piece of our life essence or mauri goes into that rock, and in 1,000 years' time, when our descendants come back here to celebrate the next millennium, I hope that they come up and they touch the rock, and in that second, we'll all be connected again. The past, the present, and the future all will share all of the things we did in that millennium, and it sounded pretty cool anyway. And someone must have thought that was pretty cool, because that's what they put on the plaque. So on behalf of Rangitane, on behalf of Rangitane, I'd like to claim that and let you know that I said it on your behalf. Me tiro ki ngā wā ua mua hei rapua te me kua ngaro. That's what I said. Oh, well.
It's on the rock. It's in the rock.
And so that's two things related to this particular area. Again, you look at the landscape, but this rock will allow us to see when the sun first comes up. This is our Stonehenge. And it also allows us to see the first sun every day. The first sun in the world comes up on our mountain. Now, isn't that cool? Oh, bye.